Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data, and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Whoop, whoop. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have one of our favorites, the actual real daddy, the Pratt Daddy, Spencer Pratt, father of 2. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who comments on a daily basis and DMs me and in all my TikTok live streams says, we need you back on the Juicy Scoop. So I heard you. I'm here.
I'm still so sad that you did not come to my Christmas party, which is completely all my fault. Because
it's both of our faults. Because I think in a text you did like
say
way
Sunday.
back. Like if I had scrolled up.
Yeah, but still,
I don't scroll up texts.
I know. And so what happened was we'd done a Christmas little thing that I text that said December 5th, Sunday, December 5th, but it was actually December 4th. So I think you had the 5th in your mind, which was a Monday. And then on Sunday the 4th, I was like, hey, are you coming? And you're like, and you live, far from where it was.
And
but
it was an hour into the party.
And
so,
you were planning on coming.
No,
because
I
was so excited to see, I knew Heidi wasn't going to come, but I'd made Barbies for everybody. So I specifically went out and bought this at Target, a very blonde Barbie with a Malibu thing on it. And I had a little, gunner size and a new baby. And now on our YouTube right now, which by the way, Spencer, I am how many away from being 100,000? 800. So you better bring the love to get me my 100,000 subscribers. And I have a Heidi, and I even picked out a dress for Heidi that makes it easy to breastfeed. It's a little whip tit right here.
That whip tit.
She can whip out her tit.
That could be a brand. I'm going to sell whip tit shirts for breastfeeding mothers. Well, thank you so much. Yes, I was so excited to see all my fave co-comedians, my touring
Your
clique.
one fun night. Your one fun night ripped from your loins.
Next year.
I know.
Next year we should have it on the boat.
I know. Or next year, or next year I'll go through my parties, but I found a really great party location in the OC, which maybe I want to have a party there.
That's a long drive, I think.
And you spend the night. You have some. Who cares? This Juicy Scoop episode is made possible with the support of Agency, a personalized prescription skincare service from the makers of Curology. Agency stands against the idea that aging is a problem. It is actually really an opportunity to grow and learn. I love both of these products, especially the Whipped Moisturizer. This is it. I love it. I'm also really excited to try my prescription Future formula as well so that my makeup goes on smooth and the skin stays light and tight and hydrated. Agency's personalized prescription formulas are made for you by a dermatology provider based on your skin's needs. When you sign up, you take a detailed quiz about your skin as well as your health history. From there, you'll get a personalized treatment plan and your package will be delivered straight to your door. Your dermatology provider will be there to guide you and answer all your questions along the way and even adjust your formulas if you need. Sign up using the link withagent.cy/juicyscoop YouTube to start your agency journey today. Subject to consultation, subscription required. Okay, so here you guys are. You got your people spread.
Oh, praise God.
I hope you got a lot of money for People
People
magazine.
doesn't pay. The People, that's just screenshots right there off of...
no, but didn't you do like a
that was
official...
Us Weekly. That was Us
you got
Weekly.
Us Weekly spread.
We love you, Us Weekly.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you, People, for the free screenshot content.
Oh, okay.
And,
but you did...
I'll never, not appreciate it.
But you did a full spread for Us Weekly.
Oh, we love them. They're just angels.
And they paid you well.
No, I mean the business has changed. Any dollar from a tabloid is a win at this point.
Okay, good.
Tabloids are mainly just screenshots of social media. So
True.
If they have a
changed.
professional photographer come and give you the treatment, it's not the good old days, but
So now you don't...
a couple bottles of wine.
You guys... Yeah, you're spinning
You know how much
a lot.
coffee I've drank in the last 3 weeks? Like, I don't think I can stop moving. We're lucky I'm sitting.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Here
So
we go.
he's an
I'm
overworked.
dosed.
He's overworked dad. Wait, would you? But nowadays you don't bother to call and say we're going to be out with the baby, walking towards Irwan and Palisades. If you to your pap guy and say, do you want to get some photos just for fun?
Of course, we still do that.
Oh, you
Wait,
still-
no.
Have you done that at all since the baby? Or
We
you
were
guys
supposed
are pretty,
we were supposed to do Christmas trees like a day ago, but everyone's so sick. Not me. I have a strong
And where
immune
was the
system.
lot that you were supposed to be?
Palisades YMCA lot
So you were supposed to have like just a fun family day alone,
with the paparazzi.
and then the paparazzi was going to invade your space and take the photos, and then be like, "We caught."
I don't think anyone thinks they're catching Spidey and Fam. I think
No.
we travel with the photographer.
Did you see recently J-Lo and Ben were coming out of a Starbucks? It looked like so fake.
I mean, in this day and age, it's very rare. There's not enough photographers to be followed. There may, so the days of, everyone is working with the photographers if they want to.
We're going to get into everybody, Brittany included, but someone did say, like, why isn't the paparazzi ever catching Brittany again? People think, like, we're going to get into it. But I think I said the exact same thing. I'm like, they're not hanging out.
Oh, the budget.
They're not following her because it isn't like a heightened situation. And even, we're going to get into everything. So let's just go through the
Go,
weekend.
I'm
Okay,
ready.
first of all, now listen, you have 2 kids. You're very hands-on involved dad and husband. But even, Nick Cannon is now saying, according to Page 6, I'm constantly working because I'm a little bit spread too thin. He's expecting his 12th kid. What is your whole thought of why is he doing this, and why are all these women willing to have his children? I want to get your opinion of Nick Cannon and his 12 children.
So you must really not like condoms to begin with.
Yes.
That's like my first takeaway.
Yeah.
And then I'm stuck on that one.
But what do you think, like...
Let me get some water. I don't
What
know
do
why
you-
my throat.
Have some water. I'm just saying, like, what do you think? Because I can't really figure it out. Now, there is a rumor that because he has some medical issues, that he's maybe having all these kids in case he needs
Kidneys or
other parts,
livers and stuff.
Yeah, things like
That's
that.
an incredible rumor. I don't know. I think if I was a multi-millionaire and I had a really serious ego, I'd want like so many like extensions of me, I would imagine. So maybe he just likes the idea of like, and one of these kids is gonna be talented at something. So maybe he's
it's
he's
like
stacking the
for extra parts, and for if a couple of them could strike it rich on their own.
Like one of them has to be an
I
athlete
mean,
or something.
all the baby mamas are like very attractive women that seem to kind of have their own thing going. Have their shit together. I'm just kind of like, I just don't know why you'd still want to just be in this camp. It almost seems like weird culty. Like, if you were the girl that's had 1 or 2 of his kids, while 3 others are like pregnant at the same time, wouldn't you be like, okay, I'm good. I had 2 of yours. I'm not going to have any more. And these girls are having his like 2nd and 3rd babies while he still is doing it with like 4 other women. That's what I don't understand.
This could be him setting himself up when Wildin' Out gets canceled, that he can have the like Kate plus 11 style or 12. So Nick plus 12 series on Lifetime or TLC or whatever.
Maybe.
I mean,
I don't
that was
know.
my first thought. I was
just
like,
don't
this
know
would
what
be
the-
an
and I'm also
incredible
like,
show.
How rich is he? And then I guess there was something that said like he pays well over $3 million a year in child support. I'm like, I would think so. There's 12 kids.
I mean, you do that math, it's not even that crazy. He must own, what I learned from the Rob Dyrdek model is if these guys...
Who's Rob Dyrdek? You know who Rob Dyrdek is? Who's Rob Dyrdek?
The one who owns Ridiculousness, like 70% of...
Oh, okay.
So he has like $500 million just from owning that one show on MTV. So if he owns Wildin' Out and
so maybe
license
he
it
really
to Viacom, he could be that wealthy.
Okay, because I kind of was like, how rich is he?
Well,
Maybe
so-
he really is. I mean, good for him. I hope he is for the sake of his kids and these women. I hope he's very, very rich.
Yeah, no, I mean, having a second child, I don't know how somebody has a third child, let alone, Heidi's talking about a third, and I'm looking at her like Elon Musk already put her on Mars.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
So you think you might be done?
I don't know. I'm not. I've been told. She said, she said her actual quote. She said, well, we don't know what God has in store. I'm like, I guess we don't. She was talking about this at the birth. I was like, are you, like, you shouldn't even have drugs for the birth. So I was like, how are you high on this human that just came out of your body? Because she was like, oh my God, like talking about a third child. I was like, oh my gosh. Shout out parents that have more than one kid or two. It's fascinating.
Two is a lot harder than one, definitely. And especially because your boy is 4. How old is he?
5.
So he already got to kind of an easier age, and now you have the baby. So it's like
0. I said it feels like back in the day when I'd play like Super Mario and I'd like get all the way to Bowser, and it's like you get to the castle that you have to start all over. Just the beginning.
I know.
Okay,
Well,
there we
I'm
go.
happy for you guys. So I went to a fun event last night. I was with this is Winnie Harlow, the model. I got invited to the Laker game late in the weekend. And I said, can we, I'm the one that gets invited, right? Because I'm the star. And you and a guest. Well, now my boys are 20 and 16. They like the Lakers. So then I had to say, is there any way my sons could come too? So they're like, yes, we can get you a couple extra tickets, but they can't come to the event where it's like the free food and the drinks and behind the stage and all that. You've done that stuff, like the pop-up shops, the gifting suites. So we went in there, and then we took some burgers and some pretzels, Wetzels, and some cookies, and I took the gift stuff out of one of the bags and put it all in there, and then brought it out to my sons. That's what you do.
It's a good mother.
When you're, that's what you do.
That's a great mother.
But I want to say the Lakers, I had not been to a Laker game since before COVID. And we used to go because of these events, and I could bring my boys. God, so fucking fun. So fun going to a Lakers game. And it was so close last night.
Well, my big celebrity event that I just went to at the crypto arena was Disney on Ice.
Yes.
And
good times.
I have a scoop for you.
Oh, really?
I have a scoop for you.
Okay.
It just hit me. This is I'm glad I woke up for this.
Yeah.
So it's just Gunnar and I.
Yeah.
Heidi is the new baby. And I'm in line, and I've never met Tori Spelling in person, but
oh, really? In all these years?
All these years.
Crazy.
And so she came up and she was so nice, and she's like, I feel like we know each other. And I was like, yeah, congrats on your MTV show. And she's like, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, this guy was very big, like somebody I would never want a problem with in real life. Like, I don't want a problem with anybody, but somebody that was like, oh no, like, why do you want to talk to me to the side?
Yeah.
And he's like, Spencer, can I talk to you over here? Like, all kind of intense. I'm like, no, sir, I have a kid here. Can we talk right here?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm Tori's husband. I was like, what have I said about Tori or you? Like, I'm going through my brain because it was so.
Dean.
And I was like running through, and I was like, I'm sure I've said something,
Yeah.
And he's like, I just want to, talk to you about some things that were said. And I was like, oh my God, what did I say?
Yeah.
Still, like, brain's like not processing. And he's like, I thought we would have seen each other before, of all these years. I'm like, oh my God.
I would be.
I was already
really
like racing,
too.
and I just sat in traffic for 2 hours, like my nerves to get in because Gunnar gets to ice skate with I'm just not here. I'm like, wait, no, I'm just thinking about Mickey and Minnie and Donald Duck. And he goes, when I said that on TV that I didn't want to end up like you and Heidi, and it was editing. You know how it is. I just meant like all the hate you guys got.
So he was talking about an awful thing he said about you guys.
But then I thought in my head, I was like, oh, I do remember that. And I'm sure I responded. I don't think I was just like, oh, poor you guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no problem. I'm biting my tongue because I'm thinking to myself, I'm sure I said something back, so we're even. And it was all fine. And I was like, oh, that was better than I thought it was going to go. So we're all cool, and it was great. And she was really nice the whole night to to Gunner and I. So, but it was a moment.
I kind of used to worry about that. Now I just don't. Now I'm like, I just assume everybody does not listen to Juicy Scoop, and I am like, hi.
Oh no,
And that's that.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
remember things. And
But,
then, so there was some major celebs that were invited. I felt like I had some real clout. Like
Okay.
Jenna Dewan was there.
Great.
And I didn't know who it was.
She
No,
is
no, I
the
know.
ex-
No, I know Jenna, but the next person,
Right, but she's the ex-wife of
Shannon. But I knew her from
Channing
know
Tatum,
when
yeah.
she was the bigger star in the
Right.
dance
In the dance
in
world,
the
yeah.
dance movie. You know,
Yeah.
he was like secondary back in
Right.
the day. What was it called? Dance? I don't know. And then the other big star that I actually didn't recognize. I knew she was famous, but I was like, was she on Walking Dead? I couldn't. You know, good for her because I'm not saying like she was dressed down, but it was Disney on Ice, but. And then I like figured it out because they tagged me in the post with all the celebrities. It was Shay Mitchell, and she has 35 million followers. So I wish I had got some clout. You
Yeah.
know? I should have figured that out and been like, can I get a TikTok with you?
Well, I have to post this. I haven't posted this today. But so this model, Winnie, she started her own skincare sunscreen line. So I got some free skincare for my trip to the Virgin Islands. I also went to see Luann de Lesseps with Jeff Lewis.
This all this weekend.
This is Friday. So my weekend start with Friday, Luann de Lesseps show.
Do you have a stylist now for all these outfits you need to have?
No, but I
Target
do
a lot.
I do love. No, this is Olivia, Alice and Olivia,
okay,
and
okay.
I did my dress there, and I get like a tiny discount.
Okay.
And so went to his house, then went to that show, her Christmas show. That was pretty fun. What do I want for Christmas? Just you. It's really good. And I had fun. And so that was a boozy night with Shannon Bedore and all these other housewives. And Faye Resnick was there, and Kyle was there, and Crystal was there. Who else from Beverly Hills? And that's where Crystal, then I said, do you watch Real Houses of Beverly Hills, Crystal? I said, I have not been invited to Kathy Hilton's Christmas party.
Ever?
No, I was invited 10 years ago.
Oh.
And I think she invited me thinking I'd like perform.
Like do a
Do a stand up, like
by the piano.
Yeah, she and Rick were like, and there's a microphone right there, and I'm like, what are you talking? Like, so then when I saw at BravoCon, I said, listen, I will perform. I will do like impressions. I want to go, but I was not invited because that was the following night.
Oh, it already happened. I was going to say,
It already
I think I could
happened.
get you on that list for next year.
Instead, I went to Newport Beach for another party, and I pretended I was Jennifer Coolidge. Did you watch White Lotus?
My mom just told me that you've been covering it, and
Good.
and that you have the spoilers in the end.
Okay,
of each
so-
episode of Patreon.
You might, so don't listen,
So,
then
yeah.
you can watch it. It's great. I was acting like I was her, and I had a good time. Okay, so
Is it just me, or is your social life, since you've become a extra world famous podcaster? I feel like since I've been following the Juicy Scoop,
Yes.
you're way more social.
my social life was really good. The weekend before, which was a rainy LA weekend, and my son had to study for finals, I stayed home all weekend. We went to the tutor. I stayed in the rain. I didn't go out. So I made out for it this weekend. This
Okay.
past weekend was Friday night, Countess Luann in LA. Saturday night was in the OC at this boat parade party for a girlfriend of mine and her boyfriend, and they had a fabulous party. Everyone dressed in white, very wealthy OC delight. Then last night was the Lakers game where Kris Jenner's boyfriend Corey was there. Talked to him.
Wow. dude.
Talked to
that's a
Jay
lot of
Moore,
scoop.
who is now engaged to Jeannie Buss,
Jay Moore, the actor?
the comedian. They are now engaged.
Wow.
She told me I could say the scoop.
Oh,
I saw her
that's
ring.
big. I love Jeannie Buss. She's
And
so nice.
they are engaged to get married.
Wow.
And he's total delight, sweet, so happy. He's like, I've been sober for 20 months and my life has changed and she's my girl and awesome.
Wow.
So
Breaking news.
great fun. Okay, but I was not invited to Kathy Hilton's party.
Oh, they were all there. That's
They
a
were all
lot
there
of clout
Saturday
there.
night, which is fine. I had other plans. But some people talked about Kim's outfit that she was wearing.
Is that Balenciaga?
No, but she's wearing like black leather pants. She looks pretty cute. And Up in Smoke tour shirt. And everybody else was cute. That same night.
So imagine
though-
wearing that to a Christmas party. Like I would never. there's no logic to that.
It doesn't make any sense, but maybe that's to be. I think she wants to look very young and hip. Is her thing right now.
But you couldn't do that in like a Christmassy outfit.
Yeah, you could do a little more Christmassy, but she didn't because she wants to stand out. Then she, I guess, rushed over. Oh wait, first I want to go back over. Then she rushed over to J-Lo's party. J-Lo and Ben Affleck had a party the same night that she made.
It's a lot of pressure being famous. Oh, so many parties. Gosh, how do you do it?
Well, when I was originally invited to the Christmas Eve party for 10 years with the Jenners, and then I got the boot, it was kind of a stressful night because my kids were little, so I had to get them cute. We went to church, and then we'd go there. And then there was this little bit I need to get my photos with everybody. So
now it'd be a TikTok. He has a lot of TikToks.
There's a lot. So she had her party, and Ben sang at the party. He sang.
I love him.
And they had a great time. Now, some other things have come out. Have you heard the leaked footage of her singing? Are you ready?
I mean, it could. How do we know it's not doctored?
I don't think it's doctored because it's gone out a lot. But if it is doctored, maybe who cares? She's super successful. And then we're going to talk. Okay, so here it is.
Don't waste dream. No. Whoa. I'm sorry, everybody. That hurt me, too. I don't waste dream that fine. Sorry. That sounded so fucking crazy. I'd always dream that. Okay, play it again.
I don't know if it's real or not. I've seen it a lot of places. Meanwhile, J-Lo, there's a TikTok trend going on about people telling stories of where J-Lo's been awful.
So I don't believe these now because they're now happening to me. And these, so one just happened to me where this rando tagged me in a TikTok. And she said that this was back in the day that she worked at this hotel, and Heidi was so sweet, and I had this air about me that she was too poor to talk to, and it's what? First off, I've never been so rich in this imaginary world where I ever felt I wish I could feel like that.
Right.
But that's never been my mind. So I literally commented, I was like, I think this is all in your head because you literally said you felt this. And she's like, no, it was your attitude. I'm like, what? But it was, and I was like, I hope you go viral and, get us both clout. I wish the best for you, But so I don't even believe these stories because a lot of them are just, now that's the thing to try to go viral.
Right. Well, I will say from all the times that I've met J-Lo, now I did meet her in a professional setting. The first time was backstage at Chelsea Lately. The next time was shopping at Saks, and she did recognize me. I said hi, and she's like, hi, how are you? And then the last time was at a Christmas party when she was with Casper at the Kardashians. And I went and I talked to her about her new show, which was she was playing a cop. Could not have been nicer, more engaged. But again, I wasn't someone who worked for her. I wasn't so if these people are telling stories, one is that this girl's my dad used to work as a driver for this company in New York, and everyone hated to be her driver because you couldn't look her in the eye and this and that. Other people are saying, and I saw another one that said, I know this girl who was her backup singer in her Vegas review show, and she never talked to them, never looked at them, but then when a man would come around, she would switch personas and be all sweet and kind.
I don't believe any of these people.
Right. And then I remember the other stories I heard about J-Lo is when I worked for Keenen Ivory Wayans, he's she was, a fly girl dancer. And she said, I also like to sing. And he goes, sing. And he said when she sang, it was a light shone down on her and he knew she'd be a star and she was great. And so I don't know, and if that's the truth or whatever. So I think it's kind of a funny thing though, because someone just sent me a screen grab of another Facebook group that I'm not in where the person said, just got my nails done next to Heather McDonald. And I'm like, okay.
Here we go.
What did I do wrong? I got a pedicure Saturday morning in Woodland Hills. And she goes, she seemed like she just wanted to be on her phone. And
That's all I do when I get my nails done. Like, the magazines they have are usually old.
But it was pretty uneventful. It was like, but she was fine. And I go, oh, I think it was the girl next to me. Like, and she seemed very nice too. But I was literally, when the first couple sentences, I was like, oh shit, like, what's this gonna be?
Say?
Like, I know I tipped properly. I know I thanked everyone. I know I left. I know I didn't do anything wrong. I know I liked my paint color. I know I didn't complain. Like, what could it be? But it's, yeah, like, this is the thing now. Like,
well, that's why I love live streaming on TikTok so much, because it's like, you're never going to, people will be like, I watched that whole time he was shopping in Erewhon because he was live. Like, so I'll just now be live the whole time I'm in Erewhon. So you're not going to ever catch me like with some fake story. Be like, I have witnesses on live. But
that's why I always tell my kids all the time. I'm like, I used to joke, and I'm like, I always return the shopping cart. I always return the shopping cart. And my boys would be like, why? I'm like, because someone could see me not return the shopping cart.
I didn't always return the shopping cart until I saw those viral YouTube videos where those people like roll up on you and like film you. And I was like, I'm going to get busted. So now I like walk. It's harder with Gunnar in his car seat now. I'm like,
I know it's a pain in the ass.
I'm like, film me. I have a kid. I can't leave him in his car seat after I've loaded the groceries. So sometimes, you know, I put it up against a wall and I play the game.
I'll either make the kids do it, but I've gone in like torrential rain and returned it just because I'm terrified that someone's going to say I didn't return it.
This one lady I grew up with, I follow her IG story, and she just posted about like people talking smack about people on speakerphone in the nail shop, and I wrote back like, were you sitting to the right of me? Because I'm always just like having full conversations.
When I was getting my nails done at the same place, there was this guy. He wasn't on speakerphone, but he was talking on the phone the entire time. And it was all about the Christmas he was like, let me tell you about Grandpa Joe. Like, he was talking about his aunt, his grandma, like the bullshit, like, how are we going to do this Christmas? It was pretty entertaining.
I try to entertain on speaker too. I never have a boring speaker.
I'm very entertaining in any Uber or Lyft. I'm like, you got a great juicy scoop. There's no way this wasn't, unless I'm by myself, then I'm just quiet. But like, when I'm with a couple people, we get into the Uber or Lyft, I'm like, we gave them this was a good ride. You should be tipping me.
Exactly. You should have bought a ticket.
Yeah, like we are off. We're going fast. I don't care if the guy's taking notes. If not, like that's
especially
what
if you're leaving
see.
A party and you just drank.
Oh, totally.
You're getting that download of all the.
Yeah, but I did a TikTok where I pretended to be someone who waited on Heather McDonald. Like I put on a wig and stuff, and I said
TikTok.
and I like did this whole long thing. Because sometimes when I'd watch these like ones about I waited on this person, I thought that day they don't sound that doesn't sound that bad. So I did this whole one where I basically was complaining about this person, Heather McDonald, who asked that the butter be warmer and only tipped like 100%. Okay, I go, the bill was $80 and she only gave me $200. And I do the whole thing and I go, that woman was Heather McDonald. And like the people that follow me are like, this is hilarious, got it. But so many people, it just came in their feed and they're like, I don't think like that this was that bad of a thing. So then I stitched it as me, Heather McDonald, to justify why I acted that way. Like, I have so much fun reading how many people like don't get it, don't know who I am, or like, who is this woman? And then like someone will be like, she's a comedian, this is a joke, and they're like, well, it's not funny. I'm like,
I love TikTok.
But yeah.
The one thing I've noticed about TikTok versus every social media platform I have, like people have, they feel like their opinion on TikTok is like, has to be heard. Like it's like the one app where other apps, people scroll, they'll like, maybe throw an emoji, like people will write novels and then people start fighting back and forth. That's my favorite, when you have like the audience fighting with each other. I'm like, this is incredible.
So
what was the cat TikTok? The pet missing one?
I
watch a lot of things with the volume off, so it's hard for me to.
So we have a big coyote problem in Woodland Hills.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the viral video of a dad.
I saw that.
Of the little girl getting pulled off, which is very scary.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, now it's like you used to only see a coyote in our neighborhood like really early in the morning. So I would never take the dog out unless it was like the sun. Now the coyotes are like huge, like healthy looking, like they're getting plenty of food. I don't know. And they're just walking down like they own the place, you know? And so I was walking my dog at like 9:30, sun is out, And my neighbor pulls up and she's like, Heather. And I thought it was a Juicy Scoop. I'm like, God, can I have one moment? And she's like, there's a coyote right there. And the coyote was so close. And my dog is not a tiny dog, but it's like a small medium. And so I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And like, I ran across the street, hid behind a car. And then this guy got off his bike and screamed at the coyote to go away so I could go back in the house. But I was so shaky.
Oh, I thought that was a bit.
I know I sounded kind of fake, but I swear to God, I was so shaky. I peed in my pants a little.
It's so
and
funny
I just kind of was like, I just want to warn people and whatever.
Your hotel room was very.
The hotel room
that
was real.
Good. That was
a real
very
one.
helpful too. I mean, if you're opening the door, that's kind of like, I need to see everything I ordered. I don't.
That
play
was
around.
the good lesson to learn. That was what was good about doing it, is because
There's
that
people
one did
that
go
do.
viral, and so many people said, and so many women said that I pretend that I'm traveling with a man. I'll be like, bye, honey, when I shut the door. And I was like, this is just sad that women feel that unsafe. And then just tips like that, don't open the door for anyone, have housekeeping leave extra towels and shampoo by the door. Don't even open it for housekeeping. It was whatever. It was very weird and scary. But all these things about people being rude and being just shut up. And it's also can I'm sorry, am I supposed to? Oh, this was something someone in a comment I said a negative thing about me. They said, I was at a Sephora and Heather McDonald was there and she kept looking at me won't you notice me? And she kept looking at me in the eye and smiling. So now you complain that J-Lo doesn't say, don't look me in the eye. And now if I'm shopping like a normal human and happen to have eye contact with someone, I just smile. And now that's perceived as, I'm a thirsty bitch. Please notice me and ask for a photo.
But that was my point to that person.
Yeah.
I was like, everything you're saying about me, I didn't say anything with words.
Yeah.
This is all in your own head. And she's like, and that's when it's no, that's, you're projecting this. If I had said oh, you're a broke bitch, that's the scoop, But
right. It's just someone's clout to actually say, I saw this famous person.
Yeah.
I was in the same store as them. So I better say something negative. Otherwise, this story doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah. And I wanted it to. I was like, I pray this goes viral. Please.
Amber Heard has settled the defamation lawsuit.
Only $1 million.
No, we don't know how much it is.
Yeah, it was just announced this morning.
It was $1 million because they said 7 figures. So she had to pay $10 million. And it was 7 figures, so I'm like, it's at least $1 million. But I didn't know if it was $3 million, $4 million. But now they said, well, I think that was really smart of her, and I think it's classy of him.
I think if I were her, I would have paid $1 million just to have that trial.
Yeah,
that was the best marketing. I want to watch anything that Amber Heard's in now.
So, what is your prediction of her career now?
I'm saying where it was, but
Well, so, you think? Well, because
I don't think it hurt. It's kept it alive.
I think, she believes it hurt. It'll hurt her a lot.
She just needs to get in the right role. What movie was somebody
Gone
trying to
Girl.
put her in?
She needs to be in a Gone Girl.
Yeah, or
she needs
just
to play kind of a psycho bitch.
Even if it was a comedy, where she plays in on it.
I don't think she should be in a comedy.
She should just full scary.
I think she will get some work.
They
for
should
sure.
bring back that what was that babysitter movie? Remember?
Oh, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle?
Yeah, the reboot of that with her.
That would be good.
There you go.
That would actually be really good.
I'll DM her.
Yeah. I think that she will absolutely work again. She, but she says because of all this, that's why she wasn't in Aquaman 2. She was having this rise of being a movie star, but part of that was because she was with Johnny and at the forefront of people's,
Johnny Depp said he called the head of Warner Brothers and was like,
put my girl in the movie. So, but I think because of the notoriety of this, that will keep her getting, yes, I think in the end, everyone
wins.
Is going to benefit from the attorneys, except her attorney. Her weird old attorney, her old female attorney, came off awful. But his attorneys did great, and then he's back on top.
He's getting the pirates.
She's now done with this and settled this, and I think
if
she'll be
he
fine.
gets pirates back,
Yeah.
and gets the $500 million or whatever he's supposed
Yeah.
to get, like he should just drop off a suitcase of cash for her and just be like, just I would do that.
No,
as,
wait,
like, a
he'll
troll.
never do that.
No, I know, but
he
like just
hates
be
her.
like,
I think this already shows he's very classy. That he settled for instead of insisting on 10 million, he was like 1. But then people would say no, he had to do that because she was going to try
Kill
to
it.
yeah.
He should donate that $1 million to where she always was pretending she was donating money to.
I bet he does.
That would just be like, and I'm putting
I'm
a
actually
donation in your name to
It's not
whatever.
just a pledge, it's an actual check.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
a pledge.
Yeah.
And Elon has nothing
But
to do with
this,
it.
this was a fun part of Juicy Scoop.
I
mean,
I
we
wish I-
really covered this in 2022, and it gave me a lot of content. So
You're thankful.
I'm thankful for it. It was a highlight of the year. It was a story of 2022.
What
that
I wish I
captivated.
had done is the second it started, I had become like one of those TikTokers that covered the trial every day.
Yeah.
Like that was a missed. I was like, that could have been a career changer for me.
So now you know the next thing.
Next big trial.
Don't.
I think there's one coming up.
So anyway, there was that. Do you know what's going on with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Jen Shah?
I don't.
Okay. So this is Salt Lake City. They're in their 4th season. This girl, Jen Shah, got arrested on camera last season. And turns out that her whole business that nobody understood that she was doing on the show, that she just called it was marketing, was very fraudulent. And she stole from vulnerable people, kind of tricked them into like, oh, would you like an online business? We'll help you do this. Pay us all this money. Then they would also sell those that information to another company she owned, and then they would screw some of those same people over again and be like, oh, we see you're in debt by buying this fake business. Now we'll help you get out of it. And it was just a big thing. And it was many, many people down, but she was like the head of the snake. So she kept saying, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. Finally, she tells Bravo, she does interviews, I'm innocent. Finally, she comes to the point where it's the best decision for her to plead guilty because they have so much, it's a federal case. So she's looking at more like 9, the maximum is 9 years. She just asked the judge, could she please only do 3? And we're waiting to find out what she's going to get. She's going to be sentenced January 15th. And she did not go to the reunion at the last minute because she said that Bravo wanted her to talk about her case. And she's like, I'm not, because it's going to hurt me. I want the judge to be lenient. Already the judge hates me because I've walked around and all this stuff with spending money and being labely, showing my closet and this and that. And so she did not do the reunion, which I think will be extremely fucking boring because she was like the only really juicy part of it. But also they went to raid her house to recoup money for the victims, and they showed lists and lists of all the things they got from her closet, and maybe out of all the designer shoes and bags and things, maybe 70% are fake.
I love that the feds know, like, oh, that's fake. That's fake. Like, I guess.
Because they would be like counterfeit from China and these bags, and they described them, and then the Bravo fans went and found each item
From
of
the
her
episode.
wearing it, like walking on going skiing in it and showing up here and all of this. And I was like, wow, to think that you ran this scheme for like 20 years just so you could have this fake you had a fake business, you had fake shit on all the time, and then you acted like a fake, I'm this big celebrity, fake person on this reality show where you were living a fake persona, and now you're going to have to be in
real
prison for 3 months. And I don't care.
3 years.
3 years, at least. And
It's like the Chrisleys. That just melts
so I
my
have
brain.
that.
It's
So
like-
anyway, so there we go. She says, I have personal painful experiences. She's trying to say, this is why I did this. But she really comes off awful on the show. She's awful to her castmates. She's a pretty awful person. And, so she's definitely going to have to do those years. So the
they got a
Chrisleys,
break. I didn't hear about a break.
not really a break. The break is they're going to the cushiest prison in America. So he got 12 years but 3 can be probation. So he is definitely going away for 9 years because you don't get much scraped off when it's federal. And he's in a Florida prison, and she's in a Florida prison for 3. They're about 2 hours apart, which is nice for, I guess, when their kids visit, they can like hit both of them. And, but it's one of these cushier, white collar crime prisons that have like yoga and tennis courts and basketball courts and things like that. And prison is better than jail, but you're still.
I mean, I was in the Big Brother house, and that's, like.
You felt like you're in prison.
Yeah. So once you don't have control of your life, it becomes like a mental thing where you don't have a cell phone, and it's nuts.
Yeah.
You don't get to you pick what you're eating. This is like, I'm not saying sad, I don't feel bad, but Heidi and I watched back in the day, like the first few seasons of this show. It was like one of Heidi's favorite shows. So it's just so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back when they first started.
I just saw something that his dad was, someone sent an article that his father was like a criminal, broke, robberies and breaking of entries. He is just another huge fake person too. He lived a fake life. He, definitely is guilty of all these crimes as Jen Shah. And I just feel like this is like the year. We're entering kind of an interesting time where like people are not getting away with shit, and they are going to do the time for your fake fucking life. And like, wow. I mean, Elizabeth Holmes got 11 years.
I mean, I always go back to like anytime I think about criminals, like no like things of fake value, like outfits, where nothing adds up to like, oh, let me risk going to prison.
I know.
Like, it's like I would be much happier eating delicious Taco Bell and having a little TV and maybe having Netflix and then going to prison for any of this. House of Cards, made up lives. It's such a.
I know, and he was such about the labels and the clothing and my closet and my wardrobe and custom made stuff and that almost like they had this persona and then continued with the fakeness and the crimes to keep this show on. And I'm like, but then I think kind of. The networks and the TV, it's all just a circle of grossness. Really, it is. They have to know. Yeah.
So the question is, when they get out in 9 years, like, is the show already waiting for them?
I think 9 years is too long. I think it's gone. I think everyone's moved on. I don't think their kids are going to be able to have a show following them. I don't think there's enough interest in it. Like, even this story, even in my world of Juicy Scoop, it's good, but people aren't like, all right, so go to prison. Like, I don't care if I never see the show again. Like, it's not, even though it went on for a long time, it's not like the Kardashians are going to prison. You know what I mean? Like, that would be a different.
People want that after the Balenciaga thing.
Yeah. And what did you think of all that? Because I didn't get to talk to you about it.
I've been telling you about these Satanists since the day I met you. You're like, Spencer. Like,
no, I didn't. I was like, tell it.
I know, but you definitely thought I was like tripping. And then you started scrolling. When you did your deep dive, it was like everything I was trying to tell you about these creepy weirdos.
Yeah.
I mean, so I've been knowing, like, there's this whole other dark, very insane. I mean, and
so what is your perception when you saw it come out? Like, give me your.
I mean, they wanted
thoughts.
it to come out. Like, that's how flagrant they are. Like, that's the like, to me, it wasn't like they got caught. They wanted. Nothing's gonna change. They are just that. We can do whatever we want, and then their little cliques of weirdos are like, ha ha ha! Look at, like, yeah.
But what do you think about the fact that, there is a dip in their sales and things like that? Does it not matter?
I don't see that. Like, they just pivot it all onto Kanye. It's like, look at Kanye, look over there. Not that he's like good, but it's like they have, it's so easy to like.
Did you and Heidi own any Balenciaga?
No, I think she had from back in 2006. I think she had one Balenciaga bag, but she had every bag. But I asked that exact question. I was like, I don't think we have one item of Balenciaga. And
I always thought it was so ugly in the last 5 years.
Yeah, and she's like, I think I have that one like bag.
That little like famous like satchel that everyone
like a
can get.
big
Yeah.
thing. So I think she had that bag. But no, I definitely was looking because I wanted to burn something and get like a viral TikTok, but I had nothing. I was like, I was just glad it wasn't Gucci because I
Yeah.
have so much Gucci. I was like, oh. thank
And then
God.
people say, oh, but they're owned by
they're
the
raised-
same
I
company
mean,
and all that.
I
I'm like,
know,
well,
it's-
hey,
it is.
it's just good that the knowledge is out there. Take with it what you will as a consumer. If you want to keep buying the stuff, fine. If you want, but like, it's good that people knew it and exposed it. But it was interesting how like,
I just got creeped out by the Kim putting the face masks on her kids thing, and that's like a part of that world,
Right.
That's where it's like, whoa. I hope Kim is just like, because I also go back to like maybe Kim's just like throw the money at me, throw the clout at me, not thinking. Maybe she's not connecting the dots of like, oh, people in this world put these face masks on in this type of setting, and it's just like,
do you think? Wait, I want to go back. I want to
that-
go back. Wait.
So that's like the hard part. I go
on,
back to
sorry.
like at the end of the day, like I don't think Kim is like a little demon, Like, it's hard. Maybe she always seemed very sweet and normal. And when I interacted,
When
with
I
her.
was going deep on it on Juicy Scoop, my advice to Kim, because she took a few days to talk about it, then she did her statement, then she just ignored it, whatever, is I was like, I would believe her, and I think this might be the case, if she just said, I was sucked into this world of high fashion that I was finally invited to. And I did whatever I was told was chic and going to get me press. And I put the thing on my face, and I did not know that it had another meaning that was quite dark. And for those of you that now know this, like, I'm sorry if I offended anyone, and I'm glad no longer to be associated with it.
Boom. Because that's what I think. It's either you're
Yeah.
in this and you're on some, Pete Davidson's now part of this, and you guys are getting, carvings in your body, and that's all part of these weird worship the devil type things. You're like either that now,
Yeah.
or you're just like, I got a fat check. They're putting me on runways. I love cloud. I love photographers. So like,
Yeah.
please be transparent and just own that world where we know you
Right.
from. Or I'm like real concerned you're part of this weird matrix.
And what is your thought? Is she part of the weird matrix, or was she just on a trend?
Sometimes where I like they may not know it, and that's
Yeah.
when like handlers come into play. Like I feel at this point, Kanye, Ye or whatever, it has handlers, and he's not even aware that they're using him, and putting these thoughts, because he's just like, oh yeah, I'm like, I'm not again condoning anything. I'm just saying I think there's powers that be that are behind these people that use them almost as puppets, and they get them caught up in this, where they think they're the ones thinking of the ideas, and they're like putting the ideas, and they're like getting these messaging out. So I wonder, as Kim, and then I go to your basketball friend, like, Corey Gamble is a very suspicious entity to me that I've always thought, like, who is this guy that came from the Justin Bieber controlled and then gets to the Kardashians? So, is somebody like him part of that powers that be? It's just,
Yeah,
you
knows?
just,
I don't know. I don't. I
you
mean,
want
I
to
don't
know, like, because I want to believe Kim's like a pawn in this, because that's at the end of the day, I always root for Kim in the sense as a reality star that made it to the billions. I love, like, she's like my mascot of like, maybe I'll be rich one day.
I mean,
too.
I also just think, it's exciting to be on the rise and meet people, and you're like, of course, let's have dinner. Of course, let's do this deal. Of course, and you might really not know any. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I still am kind of like, yeah, what was the plan, and how long were these things in here that nobody did notice? And then did they obviously they were putting it out there. I mean, there was like seven things
they
in
knew,
each
yeah.
ad.
Oh, with, like, the actual
it wasn't
court
just like one. It
cases
was
and-
like no, but there was another one that I examined that had like 5 or 6 different things in it with a little kid there.
Oh, I deep dived like the lady behind that, like that one creative person, that older lady. What's her name? And I went on her page. I was like, how is this page not banned? Like her Instagram was as creepy as it gets. And
there were things like that. You remember when Kate Spade, committed suicide, and did you ever how people were very intrigued by her husband? They were like separated, but her husband had a very weird Instagram, very weird, and it was all those same symbols and there were red shoes and all these kind of things. And then, you know, whether you want to believe that it was just, but
Coincidence. And
coincidence,
yeah.
but it's still kind of strange for like a dad of a 13-year-old to have this as his Instagram. And then, you know, there were times, well, I kind of want to talk about it. And then I'd have a comedian on and be like, don't talk about that while I'm on, because this is David Spade's brother. And I was like, okay.
So that's
David Spade's brother married Kate Spade.
Oh, and her name wasn't Kate Spade when they married.
Her name was Kate something else.
Got you. Whoa. Did not. And then it's.
And I don't know.
No.
But it was something that I saw, and I'm like, this is interesting. I can say what I find.
That's the word, interesting.
It's interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It's weird and it's interesting. I don't, you know, but okay. Like, you know. So now I'm talking about, so now David Spade will never have me on his show. I don't know. Maybe not. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care.
That's my power. I don't care.
Yeah.
And my For Your page just puts too much. Obviously, the algorithm knows that I find this stuff interesting.
Right.
And there are just, I'm not calling them detectives, but there's people on the internet that with good music and like, that's a lot of evidence, we'll call it,
right.
You know, so maybe it's all random, but there's too many dots that connect. And then you go back to like the beginning of time where all these, you know, powers that be from, you know, this, you know, we didn't just get here. There's been rich, creepy people since we all started walking around. So there's rich, creepy people have continued living and have generations of weird, creepy stuff. So
yeah,
it gets really, and it all connects, you know, when you. And
you could be friends with one of these weird, creepy people and be at the party and never see anything and never do anything. Still doesn't mean that they're not a rich creep.
That's exactly.
You could be at a dinner party
so nice.
At, you know, Jeffrey Epstein's house one night, and I believe you are not a pedophile as well. You were invited to the party and you went and whatever.
Caviar.
Yeah,
I mean, if there's caviar at a party, I'm like, free caviar. I'm gonna be on that flight list and not know. You know, you got me there because there was, you know, a jet and caviar. I didn't know where the plane was going because I didn't even care because I was like, what's on the plane? Oh, caviar. Like,
right, and when there's photos of people with Harvey Weinstein, yeah, you're at the fucking Oscars. Someone comes around, can we get a photo? How many times have you taken photos? It doesn't mean you're best friends with that person. Doesn't mean that you...
We're in the hotel room with him, like, tying the girl down.
Yeah.
But it's like... That guy had Oscars. If Harvey Weinstein had, you know, tried to talk to me, I would only known him as like that guy. People would be like, oh, he has an Oscar.
Right.
Like, oh, hey, sir, can we get dinner? Like, you know, thirsty clout is a part of Hollywood. So that's why I always go back to. But
if you're the head designer of Balenciaga, then you know what the fuck is up.
Oh no, they know.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and their even apology was some of the fakest.
Right.
Like, oh well, yeah. And then the fake lawsuit that they were going to sue, and they already stopped that.
Right.
It's like that was just no. I think they did it flagrantly, and they aren't. TikTok is so powerful. These people still don't get that. Like when TikTok wants to get you, like you will got for a minute. Yeah. So I think that blowback, they're used to like, oh, and they do control some of these other platforms, and I feel like that's why they're trying to get rid of TikTok because they don't control TikTok. You know, that's
well. You know, I mean, I got some bad reviews based on the fact that I talked about Balenciaga, that I referenced TikTok, and they're like, Heather's becoming a conspiracy theorist, and I'm like, why do you have a problem with me sharing other information? You don't have to believe it. You don't have to take it. Why does that make me now someone that's like hurting the world?
No, and this is Juicy Scoop.
Yeah, like
these
it's
are
just
all
juicy. I don't mean it's true. Yeah, like, I'm not.
We don't know that J-Lo, that was her music. There shouldn't be a line between and yeah, it is darker than what you usually cover, but this is you have the biggest celebrities that wear this brand. It's not like you went to like some horseback riding company to talk about, you know, like this is a mainstream, like pop culture, like there couldn't be a more celebrity brand that's connected to kids looking like where, you know, so that's the problem. But
what do you think?
That could be like,
since we're just on this roll, what do you think about Elon Musk and everything that he's discovered about Twitter and what's going on over there?
You know, he's one of those people that I enjoy him for entertainment, but then at the end of the day, all of his success is from is built upon, besides PayPal, but like all his like businesses are all government funded through like government subsidies. At the end of the day, he is like, he's part of that. Like you think like, oh, he's out and like he's with them. Like the rockets are funded by the U.S. government. All his, electric stuff is U.S. government. So,
but it feels like people are perceiving him as the one that's like
that's what I mean. Yeah, he's
out.
not getting any truth out. Is my point.
That's your point. That's your opinion. Yeah.
That's my opinion. Like if he's being bankrolled by the U.S. government, he is not going to do anything that any tweets are coming out that messes with, the new money coming through. It's just how if I'm Elon and I'm getting paid by the U.S. government, I'm not about to be like, oh, let me drop some tweets that's going to make the U.S. government upset.
Right. Good point. Okay. So moving on, Meghan and Harry and Meghan, otherwise known as H&M. Now, I have not finished the second half, but I just wanted to get your opinion of it in general, the Netflix doc.
Tell me if this makes me a narcissist.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know, from your doctor opinion.
Yes.
When I started watching this, the first thing I said to Heidi is like, oh my God, they are just ripping the Spidey playbook of like thirsty, I was like, they are wannabe Spidey. They even moved to where we live for 7 years. They're like at where we would go, all these. So I'm like, did they just take our book, How to Be Famous? And I don't know, this could be in my head, but I was just like,
I don't know if you saw one of my
targeted.
Posts where I feel like she has been also. So I think we're both narcissists copying my life.
Oh, so okay. I did not see her post.
She, was actually born here in Woodland Hills, went to an all-girl Catholic high school like me, then got on a cable show, then got married. Okay. Not everyone does that. Had 2 kids. Not everyone does that. And got a podcast. Not everyone does that. No, obviously I'm kidding. But yes. I just think in general, I asked both my sons because I'm like, you basically are the William and Harry of Woodland Hills. Like there's like a 3-year age difference and like one, is very much the firstborn and acts like it. And it's like, he literally has said I was born in the wrong era because if I was born like 300 years ago, I would like inherit everything and like be the only one that could own property, whatever. So I asked them both and I filmed it, who they would rather be. And I just said it in very simple terms that teenage boys who don't follow this need to explain. One of you will be king one day, and one of you gets to live in Santa Barbara and have a $100 million Netflix special with a really cute actress. And they both chose Harry.
So this is for those few reviews, so you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist. You ready for what I've always believed?
Yes.
I believe Meghan is part of this entity that we're talking about, and she has been a plant to like do exactly what she's doing and to take the royal clout and to be able to use it as a talking point and take the power of the monarchy without, because you can't go tell the monarchy what you're gonna what your so I've always, from the second I saw this, I was like, dang, and the more I watched. From the second
you saw them falling in love, or from the second you saw the Megxit thing, her leaving?
No, second I saw them start dating, I started being I was like, who is this secret agent? I just felt like she was and then you watch the documentary, how smart she is. I was like, oh, she's for sure got recruited at Northwestern by whoever. This is not the CIA, this is the agency you don't know of, So I think they recruited her. And then you watch her speak in front of the UN. I'm like, oh, she is such a deep state. I don't know if that's the wrong word, deep state. I think that's
I don't even know what deep state means.
She's like some deep cover operative, not like a political thing. She's I don't want to say Illuminati, but she's part of, you don't just all of a sudden become the UN spokesperson of feminist rights. That's my
love
theory.
it and think it's fun. I disagree.
That's fine.
I just think there's certain people in this life that just have an unwavering confidence and just go for it. And so she went for it. I think she did fall in love with him. I think she thought that she would be like a Princess Diana and that it would be great and fun and all this stuff. and it wasn't. And she really was like miserable. And when they like show they're like, this is really where we live. Remember when they showed the little cottage and you could barely like
I'm only on episode 3.
So they show like their little cottage that they have to live on the property, and they're like filming it with their video. And someone also said, I think right from the start this was maybe her plan to like be a Kardashian reality pinnacle person, because the fact that they're like, journal it, record it yourself. Like they think maybe Oprah told her to do that when they became friends, but whatever. That's everyone films everything about their life anyway, so I don't really think that's a thing. But I think that like they were in this old run-down little cold cottage. It like doesn't matter that you're in the field if you're cold and it's moldy and you're like not going to fun dinners. I don't think it's that fun of a life to be a princess. And there's all these other things you have to do where like it's not a photo op, but you still have to go to like the factory and whatever. And so I think it was like more work and not fun at all.
So let's
her.
rewind. Do you believe that she didn't know who Prince Harry was?
No, I know she knew.
Oh, and she knew Princess Diana.
Yes.
Okay. And then,
because there's enough people that they've interviewed that like, of course we all did. Like, what are you, living under a rock?
So that's why, I mean, I love her, but I also wish she'd be like, I love the royals. And I always thought it was beautiful. Like, to play, like, it's back to the transparency thing. Like, I want to like you.
Yeah.
But once you start seeming like a liar to me, like, for whatever reason you feel like and then I really didn't like how she had I asked my mom if she's watched it, and I was telling my mom, like, did you watch her like kind of mock how she had to like curtsy to the, she's like, no, but I saw the memes, everyone's like, oh, everyone's picking that up. Right. Because the look on Harry's face, he was not feeling that. Because at the end of the day, like, he's a royal. Like, you can Joe, but it's like you're mocking like my bloodline here. So I love her, and I also just wish she'd be like, I was more honest with like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna date a prince. Like show the thirsty Hollywood part, and then the like, oh my God, there was paparazzi. Like, you were the star of, like, you didn't make it mainstream, but you were the star of a cable series. Like, about paparazzi. They wait for celebrities. They care about covers. You're telling me you didn't see the royals on all the...
Right, when she's like, I didn't know what a walkabout was. What do you mean? We've been raised with it. Like,
no, and we now see how smart you were. So, like, you can't play dumb and show me that you know your poem from when you're 11, like by heart. Like, and then, so... That's it. And then at the end of the day, I am sad because now being a parent of 2 boys,
me
I'm like,
too.
dang.
That's what makes me the saddest.
I'm like, dang, William's never going to talk to you after this Netflix. Like, it's a wrap. Like, maybe you could have salvaged it, but I'm not even on where you start really going in. But I'm on episode 3, and you just made me learn that the royals actually created slavery. Like, you've rebranded, it was a nice history lesson, but I don't think William wanted that history lesson now that he's going to be the king. Like, what, So that's the sad part. But the other part is back to this cottage.
Yeah.
BS. There's no way that if Harry called Queen Mum and was like, hey, can we go to the... they got these palaces everywhere. Like, you really can't go visit. Like, maybe that's your, like, permanent for the taxpayers of England.
Yeah.
But you can't go have a night over at this castle or this. Like, when they were describing, I told Heidi, like, when she was like, that one guy was describing how bad it was. I was like, is it wrong that everything he's saying, like, sounds so amazing? Like, locked in this gilded cage and not, I was like, this is
So
like
what
dreams.
is your prediction of where they go from here?
I mean, I hope they don't break up.
But you hope they don't, but what's your prediction?
I think we'll see. I got to watch the next 3 episodes, but my first thought, it could be editing.
Yes.
It could be editing, but the way he looked at her, that curtsy thing was a major, like, red flag. And I feel like a reality TV audience fan member of, like, being naive here, but it was like, whoa, like, if that... and the other weird thing is in his speech when he's like, when we come together, I knew we were meant to be our like, that we're both about like our work or whatever. It's like, no, what about love? Like, this should be like,
oh yeah, we're a team.
Yeah, we're
a great team. We're a great work together. I'm like, well, that is a weird
partnership.
Thing. Yeah.
I fell in love with her because she's So I
You know,
actually got
it sounds
scooped.
like very Clinton-y.
No.
It sounds the way that
I'm
Clinton
telling
would
you,
talk about Hillary, knowing that she was like a smart
So
girl.
imagine
Yeah.
I know scoop of
Yeah,
like.
please tell.
I can't. There's a certain like I would like to still get some checks from
Okay.
So, but in my theory,
Yes.
imagine if she brings him into this other thing. So it is a part like she recruited Harry
Okay.
into this. Like you can have more power than the king and be able to make change, and all these things you're talking about. I can help make that happen if you come over here.
Right.
So, but I actually have a scoop on her
Yes.
that I just got.
Yes.
Let me word this without this getting back to the people. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it.
No,
but
you should.
so
Yes.
so I did hear allegedly that this one. How do you not get sued? I don't.
It's alleged.
It's
Just
alleged.
say, I heard a rumor.
I heard a rumor.
Okay.
That one thing that definitely probably helped this situation with her and Harry is this one person that I know who knows, allegedly, she locked him in a hotel room for like 3 days straight. Like, so she is like a...
Locked Harry in.
No.
Oh,
it's in the
locked
past.
this other person that she was dating or what?
I don't know if they were dating. So
Okay.
she can like... So imagine if when she first met Harry, she put him in a hotel room for 3 days. She is not...
Well, I think she is like highly intelligent because she'd win all the awards in
but
school.
she also is
and
highly...
So what a highly intelligent person could, definitely present themselves and manipulate and get, I'm just saying if you think that's what
That's
she...
athleticism, though.
Yeah.
That's not... She like we're talking like she's like a professional.
So this is a rumor,
A
but I
rumor.
do want to talk more about it after we stop recording.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have like straight. So I'm just saying that probably, and the way he was like, and he's like, everyone's like, how did this ginger get this Hollywood action? It's like what he's really saying, how does ginger get this freaking star? Right? She's We'll talk later.
So my thing is, I mean, if they do break up, and I don't want anyone to
I
break
don't want
up,
them. I do.
it will happen when she's about 45.
So Heidi just saw Prince Harry
Okay.
a week ago.
Where?
I can't say,
Okay.
but I told you they followed us to where we used to live.
Okay.
And Gunnar was waving at him, and he waved back, and they had like a moment, and he was really nice. So that made me like him a lot more.
I find him very likable on this. I find them like very in love in this. So like, I don't know, but I just wonder, this big deal with Netflix, where do you go from here? They're like, oh, we had this whole deal and we're producing all this stuff. They're not TV producers. They're not funny people. They're not creative people. So besides the fascination of, and I don't know if seeing that, like, will they become T.I. and Tiny? Will they become Heidi and Spencer? Are we just going to see them going to a preschool play date? Is she going to be like, I don't know how I'm going to plan this cupcake party for Archie? Like,
they should do that. Like they should go full, like,
Reality show?
they're going to have to, because once this is it, that's what's so sad. Like,
I mean, does she start, do they try to be Chip and Joanna Gaines? Do they start to, like, what is it going to be?
They need
Like,
this to just turn into like freaking the reality show. That's all they got. That's what I mean. You didn't think this
but
through.
they're not, but they're like not funny. Like they're not, maybe they do like a Chrisley where it's like very set up and fake and act a little bit. But like, I don't know what it would be. I mean, if I was in that creative meeting, I'd really not have a lot of suggestions.
The good news is they're never going to have to pay for anything, because there's people like me that love clout. And if I was rich, I would
Invite them on every trip.
And, let them use my jet.
Yeah.
Fly them. So they'll never have to spend money, because,
Right.
they still have royal clout.
And if they got the, like, I don't know, 100 million from Netflix and another
That
100
goes
million
so fast,
and
though.
another 100 million from Spotify. Did they get 200 million?
But that goes so fast.
And then they're like, oh, but they were supposed to do all these shows and they only did this one and we don't know if it's coming back. I'm like, whatever.
I think what they did wrong is they went too far. They should have kept there's no way the king is they're done. Right
Well,
now.
the king says, according to page 6,
they know my number.
but they seem like they don't know. But although invitations for his coronation has not been sent, a source told Daily Mail that he told Prince Harry that he was welcome to come.
They better go.
I mean, it would be, I definitely think they're going to be invited and they hopefully will go.
Well, it's just so wild. Like, your dad's the king.
I mean, if I was the king, I'd want him to go, not only because he's my son, but so many more eyes are going to be on my coronation if they come. Like, I've been waiting for this. I've wanted it according to the crown.
I was saying, you bring Netflix?
Yeah, according to the crown, I've wanted it for like 35 years, waiting for my mom just to hand it to me. So now it's finally here. Yeah.
Did you see that? The craziest part in that so far is when she's sitting there wearing that crown with all those diamonds. I was like, what world is this?
Who, the
queen?
Oh,
Rest her peace and Queen Heaven.
Yeah.
But like, dang. Like, I would have, if I was Meghan, I would have been kissing the queen's feet to try to be like where the queen was giving me some extra diamonds. Like,
I mean, I think she
tried and you just can't get in.
I mean, I think she was, but I mean, it is interesting how it all.
It looked like, I'm only on episode 3, but it looked like at the wedding, like it was popping. Everyone was loving them.
Everything was popping, and then basically, we'll watch it, but basically, their thing is
this racist undertone.
They were in bed with the paparazzi, or with the tabloids, to put out untrue negative stories about Meghan to remove attention from any other negative stuff that might have been happening in the royal family.
It's part of the game.
So, and that was a lot. And then that caused her a lot of anxiety to the point of, dark suicidal thoughts. And that's what caused Harry to be like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. If we, I have to protect my wife, and I don't want my wife to be Diana. I don't want my, and Diana. And he also said Diana got a lot of shit from the royal family because here she comes as the outsider, but she's the favorite, much more than not only Charles, but his siblings, Prince Anne, all these people, like
queen.
Everyone loved her. And so therefore negativity and feelings towards Diana came because she was so popular. And he said, I saw that happening with Meghan. Meghan was, in his opinion, more popular. They were more popular than Harry and Kate. Well, and other people would say not true. Like, everyone loved Kate. Everyone loves Harry, William, but we're also happy for them. Like, English people are like, this isn't true. But then they bring up these articles, and so they had some points. But also, I was like, do people care that much about tabloids? But I guess they do in England.
That was
like, I'm like, who cares
about this? Every time he was talking about what the papers said, I'm like,
the papers?
I'm over here like, please write my name on any of these things with anything. And he's complaining about, he's like, she doesn't live in Compton. She lives in Crenshaw. I'm like, I don't know. It's 10 minutes away. Like, in England, they don't, maybe their map's off, but it's like, big deal. She had a cover. Like, I actually was so sad that Heidi and I, when they were showing all the covers, that we were on none of the cover chips, like how they have other people in the cover chips of that was my
well, also
moment.
I was like, at first you were like, don't say that I lived in this other neighborhood, not this one. And then many years later, you downplay and act like you let a more impoverished, like more like, oh, I was on scholarship and everything at Northwest, which has been proven not to be true, that the dad paid. So I'm like, what's the story? Is it? Oh, and the other thing that people talked about, I definitely think is BS, is when she told the story, which you have not seen, but she says, and when we were leaving, like escaping England, and on the plane, the pilot or whoever was the head of the pilots or whatever comes down and he kneels and he's like, thank you for all that you have done for our country. As if she like fucking captured bin Laden, like she's a Navy SEAL or something. And people are like, bullshit. Piers Morgan's is like, where's that pilot? The same thing when she said, like, who was it? Nelson Mandela or something said something to her, and there's no proof that he did. So I do think she's one of these people that is very comfortable in exaggerating the truth, or even coming up with a story and almost like believing that it is her story.
I could do that better.
You know what I mean? And like, I know. I think she's very
skill.
like. I just think, I think she takes. Like a Casey Anthony takes elements of the truth and then creates stories, and then after a while doesn't even really know what the truth is anymore. which is kind of fascinating to watch too, and it makes for an entertaining show.
So it's a strange parallel, but when I was driving over here, my mom was talking about how much she wishes she'd actually watched Chelsea Lately back in the day, because now she realizes her favorite like 3 people wrote it, and that's why, you know. But she's like, she couldn't stand Chelsea, whatever, and it made me think that like, I never went on Chelsea, even though she said she would never have me on. I proved it on Extra one time, or Access Hollywood, where I had all the emails her begging us to come on. But she would bash us so much that I, you know, was like, forget that. I didn't go on. But I look back, and it's kind of like with Harry and Meghan. It's like, I wish I had it in me where I could go on. If I could go back and do Fame again.
Yeah.
I would have gone on Chelsea, let her just light us up with jokes, smile, and just let her, you know. I just wish I could have.
So wait, what is the story? So she asked you to come on, but
she used to beg us to come on.
Why didn't you want to come?
Because she was bashing us so much, and I used to take that stuff so personal. And that's with Harry and Meghan. Like, if they'd only just flowed with the tabloids, use that where they go on and go to the Daily Mail and say, you said this, and let's talk. You know, like, you just can't take things personal with like headlines and comedians. And I wish I had, if I could go back in a time machine, gone right on Chelsea, like, let her just burn us down, smile, and be like, it's a show, tune in, thanks for having us on here, versus like hearing what she's saying and like talking all this smack, and then be like, I want you on the show. I'd be like, F you, being like, we're not going on, you know? So it's the same thing. They should have just, you know, like I said to Mom, easier said than done. You know, like, I still don't think I could have done it. But that's what I feel like Meghan and Harry should have done, is just own the media, like gone and made these relationships with the editor of Daily Mail, and go in with these people, the exact person writing the horrible thing, take them to tea, and just be like.
Well, also, like, you know, Piers Morgan was like
best friends
totally,
with Meghan.
would totally, and then when she blew him off, then she had an enemy. When she could have kept him around, she could have invited him to the wedding. She could have,
Same thing happened with Trump. He was like Trump's biggest, like, you know, he was always, you know, not always, but and once they beefed out, it was freaking, he'll burn you down too. So, you know, but that, I forget what it was like 5 years ago, but the night she stood him up, they were going to the bar. Like, I wonder if he thought he was going to bang her. Like, if they were like, there's like a weird energy where they like were talking. I think he thought like she was going to hook up with him, and she stood him up to go on this date with Harry.
This is what first of all, I think that, yes, I think he thought there could be something that could happen. And I think at that time in her career, she was excited to meet him, that he could help her. And then when she met Harry, she was just like, meh. Or Harry might have been like don't fuck with Piers Morgan. Like, he's not, you know, and she doesn't want to piss off her new boyfriend. And she's like, I don't owe this guy shit. Like, I got one drink with him, and like, had a few tweets exchanged. Like, he was a weirdo about how much he like fucking hated her. It was a little weird. I'm like, but whatever.
And you know, Harry did say that because he was at that paper when they did hack his or his brother's phone or whatever. That was the paper that did it. Oh. So 100%, he was like the editor there.
Right.
So he was probably like, do not go near that person.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was all like, they were like, it had been dating for 6 months, how like emotional he was about it.
I'm going to jump to something because we're like running out of time, but I want to show you.
I forgot how just scoops just pump me up better than coffee. I'm just flying now.
So Chris Frangiola has thought of a show that we have talked about for years, and don't
even tell. Keep this a secret. This is gonna get stolen.
We've already talked about it so much.
Oh, that's the best title of a show I've ever heard.
It's called Cancel House, and who
can
made
I
this for
be
me
a
again? The doll?
Can I be a producer?
Name that doll.
Can I be a producer on this?
Name that doll. So Name That Doll does these great memes for me and photos. So put us together, and then I said it's got to be VH1. And now I don't know about the cast
that's too hard to get. We could get a real VH1 cast.
Yeah, but this is an A-list cancel list. We've got Will Smith.
This is Netflix, not VH1.
We have Kanye. We have Amber Heard. We have Hammer. Army Hammer, Kevin Spacey. I don't know who this girl is.
Somebody would definitely get murdered in this house. It could be called Murder House.
Yeah.
This is a great show, but I think this could be in your pitch deck. But
yes.
I think you need like a realistic cast that you could pull off.
Well, also
it's
because
like the new Surreal Life. But
the Cancel House, like, it's kind of dark why people get canceled. So I don't know that like you'd have to actually talk to the people like. What were you feeling when you?
No, you'd have to have therapists
and
and crisis managers. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I almost want to get canceled to get cast on this show. It looks that good.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I want to ask you when you're talking about. You really went viral for your Lisa Kudrow story.
We haven't talked about. I'm sorry that I offended your childhood inspiration.
No, you didn't. But I wanted to say, my story of Lisa
She's
Kudrow.
amazing.
But it's different because she was my teacher at the Groundlings. She wasn't super famous at the time. She was just a really great teacher. And then over the years, when I've run into her, I've been like just like you'd go up to your English teacher that was an inspiration. I was like, you were the one that's like, you get it. Don't stop doing what you're doing. And it was just one of those things. So, but still, I believe everything about your story. And I feel like, and in your story, just tell it really briefly. You were at a big party.
Yeah, and so it was weird. Just about to be I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. So at the time, the president of NBC was Ben Silverman, and we'd been going to dinner with him, and he'd been courting us to like sign on to do the show that we should have never done because it was all set up. And
what show was that?
The I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, that jungle show.
Yeah.
So he invites us to the chairman of NBC Universal, which Ron Meyer's big white party. I mean, it was like I think it was the only real probably A-list party we'd ever been to. That's what's the funniest. Everyone's in the comment section. You shouldn't have been at A-list. Like, well, no, we were invited. So we went, like I said, if there's caviar, I'm going.
Yeah.
So, the vibe, this is when we were like the most hated possible. So the energy of like, what she was saying, she was just like the talking piece probably for the whole party was vibing us. And no one was approaching it. Like we were like pariahs in here. Like looked like we broke in,
Right.
So she comes up, I'm standing right there and I'm now misquoting because I don't remember at the time. I remembered more when I did the TikTok. I asked Heidi. But it was something like run from him. And it was dead serious, no bit. Everyone's like, she was a comedian. Like she was dead serious. She was like, he's going to murder you. He has serial killer eyes. And like we're waiting for like the smile or whatever. And it was just like, it was just so, and maybe that's her dark humor. Like, and again, I don't like, if people just ask what the rudest encounter was, that was the rudest. If it had been somebody else, maybe she's the nicest, funniest lady ever. Like I didn't take it, I don't care. I kept eating and
I just don't, I think if I had Juicy Scoop 15 years ago, I definitely would not have predicted that the Heidi and Spencer that I saw on TV would be celebrating 15 years together with 2 kids and be like a fabulous like nuclear unit. No one would have. So I think in her defense, and we also didn't really know about reality TV and that it was fake and manipulated and stuff. So I really think
it was real.
That she was probably
I'm going to save
buzzed,
Heidi.
And she is a little I just can see it happening. I can see that happening. And I just don't think she thought that this relationship would ever last and that it would be hurtful. Like, whatever the case was.
Oh, no, I didn't think it was hurtful. I was just, even if it, like, at the end of the day,
right.
You don't, like, we're strangers. You didn't start with a conversation. Like, it's a rude interaction.
It was a weird, odd thing.
No matter what, you can't, like, I would never go up to, I watch all these shows and I would never go up.
But I don't think this would, even if you guys existed in this day with the persona, the only persona we saw was today, 2023. I think now everybody is just more savvy about reality show people and that they're just people too. And what you see on TV, you should not think that they're that evil and that producers are manipulating. But 15 years ago, I don't think people knew that.
Here's my argument, though. Heidi and I went every single place on earth together for every day of the week. No other human being ever came up to us and never said anything like that. So if that was like this reoccurring thing that everywhere we'd go, people would come up and be like, he's going to murder you. He's got serial killer eyes. Then I'd be like, oh, yeah, she was just totally reading the room of the world. That's my, like, of every human being, we went everywhere
I
together.
don't
She's
know.
the only one that ever did that. That's why
Yeah,
you like
it's a very weird thing. It would
know.
be amazing if
I would love to link up and just
if I
like,
ever see
it.
her, I'm going to ask because I want to know, was it a prank? Was it like she had a few drinks and she was like, I'll fucking do it. He looks like a serial killer. You should tell him, I'm going to fucking, and like, it was just for a little thing and she didn't care. She didn't think that it was meant anything. So who knows?
And again, like I didn't care at that moment. I was like, oh wow, she watches the show. I didn't take, but
Yeah.
like if somebody in my comment section, what's your rudest celebrity encounter? All my encounters with celebrities have been. I don't think I have one negative thing
Right.
I've ever encountered a celebrity, and I had to really think. I was like, oh my god, that one lady from Friends. Like I didn't even think Lisa Kudrow. I was like, the lady from Friends to roll up. That was so. If I look at the situation, that's rude.
Right.
You know, but at the time, like I didn't want to like, oh, let's leave the party. Like I went right back to the buffet, and like so.
Yeah.
But again, it's like people in the comment section were like, I think it helped her.
But
everyone loved it. Like everyone's comment was like, now I like Lisa more.
Right,
like,
right, yeah,
like,
exactly.
So if anything, like she like
But I
owes
mean,
me.
getting back to like these stories, it's like these stories all can be true. It's the same thing. It's like people have great stories about O.J. Simpson. I say it all the time. Oh my God, he was the nicest guy in the world. And like someone just sent me an interview he did. And he's talking about his life in prison and how he coached a baseball team on prison and how he was, how he would kind of settle beefs between people. And he was like, I knew I had to do those. I think I got a run of the deal. But hey, I was there for 9 years and I did my 9 years. And he's coming off like the reason everyone loved OJ and what made him a star. I'm like, doesn't mean you still didn't do something really fucking horrible and, evil that's going to be the judgment day for you. But like, yeah, that's what's so interesting is like, and hearing other people's stories, it's like, yeah, that could have happened. But like, you kind of wonder what was that all about? But
and it's back to what I wish I had the power to do with the Chelsea lately. And like, I wish I'd been like, you're right. I look like a murderer.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I like,
Yeah.
like I wish I was just too young and I didn't have like the full, when you're so into like, you build these like protection shields around because you're getting so much hate and negativity. You have to like have like tough skin. But I wish I had just had like I had embraced it more. It's a hard balance, and I'm not sure if it's humanly possible, but that would have been the real joke. Be like, better run away before I murder you.
Right.
Like I wish I had like
they had the confidence of being like, yeah.
I was in such shock though, but if I had,
it takes a while to get to the
real
place.
quick. Like, I should have just grabbed like a butter knife and like better back up.
So was there any Illuminati people at this fabulous party?
Well, I'm sure you don't get like that's why I'm at a certain level. These people are 100% all doing something. Like at a certain level.
Yeah.
I don't think Lisa Kudrow, maybe not, but is, and it's back to like people laugh, but it's like if somebody like Harvey Weinstein was doing what he's now known to do, what do we know he's not doing?
Right.
That's the deeper level of a secret. So that's where you got to go. Here's what we're now finding out. So you're telling me that somebody who can lock women in hotel rooms and rape them, now we're not going to believe there's like a next level of like the secret?
Well, then it's always just the people that will all keep the secret to protect their livelihood.
Yeah, they're all in on it.
Yeah.
So once you've witnessed it, you're in. Whether or not you did it, you're at a party and you saw some,
Yeah.
Again, these are all for your reviewers. These are just
this is
fun,
just
just for your
talking
page
juicy
content.
scoop, yeah.
This is just swipe a little bit more. You'll pop into this world.
Spencer, tell everybody where they can get the crystals, what you have going on.
PrattDaddy.com. PrattDaddy.com. Just shop
And
crystals. Nothing else. Just shop crystals.
And
That's
it's
all
just
I need.
Spencer Pratt on everything else.
Just go to PrattDaddy.com.
Okay.
Because if they buy a crystal, I'm with them everywhere they go.
Aw.
You just be wearing my energy.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I know. But follow Heidi's Snapchat. That's where I star the most in as a reoccurring character.
Love it.
At Heidi Montag on Snapchat.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.